Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to Rebuilding with Resilience. Happy summer. I know we weren't on last month, so we're glad to be back. And we have a really special guest this month, so we're really excited about that. My name is Sarah. If you're not familiar with me, I am the COO here at PHNX Development, and I'm the one that normally hosts these. So I'll talk to you for a little bit. I'll introduce you to our team, and you'll get to meet all of us. And one of the very special things about this webinar is, this is an opportunity for you to learn. Regardless if you build with us, we love to be here to help people and to answer questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We will be monitoring that, or go ahead and speak up. With that said, I like to start every webinar off by starting with our mantra, which is forever homes for everyone. We really believe that there could be a change in this industry, that we can build very resilient homes that can withstand the test of time, and that it can be something that we all can afford. And so we'll get more into that and explain that in more detail. If you are here and you have lost your home, I just want to say we're very sorry to hear that. And we appreciate the time that you're taking here to be with us today. Today, again, we're going to do some introductions. I'll introduce you to our team. We're going to talk a little bit about non-combustible construction, what it is and what it isn't. It can be really confusing when you're out navigating this in real life to really understand the claims that different companies are making. How can you actually know, are those claims true? And then I'm going to introduce you to our special guest, Brian Skelley. He's from Lighthouse Lending. He's our financial concierge. He is the guy that we go to for everything finance, for understanding how to fund our homes. And you can use him to fund if you build with us or not with us. He's available and he's here today to answer any questions. So again, um, feel free to put questions in the chat. You can send them to me directly, or you can just go ahead and speak up. We're here for you. And then at the end, we open it up for a live Q&A and we can have a discussion if anyone's up for it. So with that, I will introduce you to our team. Today we have Lori Fisher. She is the CEO. She's a registered architect and she's a founder of PHNX. And she'll talk a little bit about the background of how she started this company and why. Again, I'm Sarah Rogers. In the background a lot, I do a lot of strategic communication and make sure things are moving smoothly in the background. We have Andre Noel here. He's our Director of Construction Services. He is a magic maker. He is someone that watches over every build with an eagle eye. He's making sure every line is straight, that everything is pristine, and we admire him so much for that. Kendra Kettlehut is here. She's our senior home designer. She's the one, if you build with us, she's going to help you design your home and really help you see your vision. And Adam Jill is our permitting coordinator. So we do have a permitting coordinator on staff that helps us move permitting through the process. He's permitted our homes. He knows what the permit team is looking for, so he can address those things ahead of time and get things moving fast and smoothly. I like to talk about just beyond the team. We also have a team of products that we use. Lori, who founded the company, she's been an architect for 25 plus years. She has lots of experience with these products, and she's really cherry picked the products that she's used in homes that work the very best. And so you'll see under here a list of the products that we use. And honestly, if you go to our YouTube page, I think we've had almost every single one of these businesses in a webinar, so you can learn about them and see the questions that people asked. These are proven products. We know they work. We know they have great results. They last. And we also get our products direct from the vendor. And this is all a client advantage for everyone that works with us. With that said, I'm going to pass it over to Lori and let her tell you a little bit about how our company started.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for joining us today. I know it's in the middle of summer and everybody's got a million things to do, but these webinars live on YouTube and on our website, so you can share them and come back. And of course, we're here to answer your questions at the end of the webinar as well. So we're here for you. So as Sarah said, I've been an architect for over 25 years, and I started building with insulated concrete forms in 2011. Now, I started working with fire survivors in Santa Rosa in 2018 after the Tubbs fire, and working with them presented challenges that I'd really never encountered before. And it exposed really serious flaws in the way we design and build homes. And so, of course, what I saw was profound trauma. And, our heart goes out to every single person that reaches out to us. It doesn't get any easier. But I could also see how the rebuilding process itself was compounding it, making it worse. The delays, the bureaucracy, the constant decisions. But I worked with victims of violent crime for about 10 years. And in doing that, I was trained in crisis intervention and trauma-informed care. And so when I was working with these fire survivors, I saw immediately the trauma and understanding the challenges of communicating with people in trauma. And, we're not really, it's harder for us to understand things and harder for us to focus and concentrate. And so, boy, when you've got to design a house, you've got to make a lot of decisions. And so I really knew that something needed to change. And it would not only on the design process, but on the construction side as well. Next. So what exactly is it that we do? We are the only home builder in the United States building fully wood-free type 1 non-combustible homes per building code. And non-combustible isn't like a marketing term. It has a very strict code definition. And the thing is that if the structural system contains combustible elements at all, it's not type 1. So if you build, let's say you build a steel framed house, you're still going to have to use plywood sheathing on the walls and definitely on the roof. So it's not non-combustible. It has to be all non-combustible materials and follow other regulations in the code that define type 1. We'll talk about that in a second. And so our homes are engineered and permitted as type 1 construction. They're reviewed by a building official, and that's what sets us apart from anyone else. And so the building code defines 5 construction types from left to right there, and ranging from non-combustible to fully combustible. Types 1 and 2 are the only fully non-combustible types. Type 5, which is wood framing, and it's the most it's the fully combustible classification in the code. All the 4 other types are actually, 1 and 2 are the only non-combustible, but 3 and 4 are kind of a blend. Type 5 is the only one that's fully combustible, and that's what we build all of our homes out of. But here's the thing, type 1, this whole construction types thing has been around for literally 100 years. And it's been around as long as it has because it works. So type 1 and 2 are used for hospitals, for schools, for high rises, for any kind of like high hazard type building, buildings that need to withstand disasters, for public safety. They are type 1 and 2. And now Phoenix has made it possible to bring those high standards to your single family home. And so, and like I said, so the building code is focused on life safety. The building code has never been about, you know, preserving the structure. If you hear a 2-hour wall or a 3-hour rating, that refers to how long that assembly is guaranteed to maintain structural integrity, enough to get people out of the building. That's all the building code cares about. They want to get you out safe. And, you know, whatever happens to the building after all the occupants have exited, not a code issue. So what we need to do is we need to look at, first off, what's the safest construction types? Type 1, definitely. Type 1A is the highest fire resistive. So our walls are not only non-combustible, but they're rated for 4 hours. Our floor system is not only non-combustible, it's rated for 2 hours. And our roof is not only non-combustible, but it's rated for an hour and a half. And we go even further in that we don't have any roof vents. You hear people talking about, you know, the anti-ember intrusive vents and everything. Yes, of course, that's important if you have holes in your roof going into your attic, and we just eliminate that whole problem by saying we don't have roof vents at all. And our windows are, we'll talk more about those, but they're Sierra Pacific aluminum clad windows, extremely durable. And so they're non-combustible from the exterior, dual pane tempered. So as long as your windows are closed, nothing's going to happen. No embers are going to enter your home through those windows, and they won't burn. The entire envelope is sealed and rated over R30 plus from an insulative standpoint, a thermal standpoint. And so we're basically building for real world wildfire conditions, not just minimum code compliance. And so, you know, it's always been that non-combustible construction costs significantly more, and you're still hearing it a lot. I'm sure, like at a lot of these other webinars that are out there, I've heard it. I heard it just last week. Oh, you know, it's you know, non-combustible is so much more expensive. And you know, what's really happening now is that combustible is getting more expensive, because you take that combustible structure and you have to make it non-combustible. So we're starting with non-combustible, and we don't have to do anything additional to it to keep it safe from burning. And so one of the obstacles to removing wood completely from home construction has traditionally been the wood sheathing, the plywood sheathing on the roof. We need that to stabilize the diaphragm during earthquakes. And, you know, so plywood sheathing is what they use. And there's really no viable, feasible, non-combustible alternative to plywood sheathing. So we had to engineer a completely different solution. And what you see there is our patent pending long span system. So it eliminates the need for plywood sheathing, and you can see them installing those roof panels right on top of it. So those roof panels are sheathing, insulation, and roofing all in one. And here's the cool thing is, so because of all these streamlining innovations that we've done, our homes come together faster than a traditional home. So our roof installs in days. Our spans, we can span with the long span up to 32 feet, and we space them up to 8 feet on center. So none of our interior walls are load bearing. So once we get that structure up, the inside goes really quick. Our stucco system is only 3 steps instead of 5 steps, and it doesn't need an inspection. We reduce a lot of the inspections. We reduce about 1/3 of the inspections. Our Vision Builder interior design system that Kendra's going to talk to you about streamlines decisions. And, you know, this again is that trauma-informed design process. We want to make these decisions as easy as possible for you to navigate and still wind up with a home that is 100% yours. So the process is guided and clear, and it honestly, it's fun, seriously. So everything just, our whole process, design and construction, shrinks down your schedule. And, when you've already lost so much, any time that we can save really, really matters. And, the fact that we've got wood out of the equation, it matters so much more than just fire. And, so guess what? We've got no termite problems. There's no rot. There's no structural mold issues. And, if your pipe leaks, if you go on vacation and unfortunately, a pipe burst or something, or you left a faucet on, and you come home to a major flood, if you've got a wood framed home, you're going to be repairing structure. And if you don't fully replace the structure, you risk mold development later on. But in a Phoenix home, all you've got to do is take off the stuff that got damaged, like flooring, cabinets, drywall, maybe a door or something. And then you let it dry out and you put it back on. And if for some reason an interior wall is damaged, now you can see in that photo there's steel framing in the back. Thanks, Sarah. So none of those walls are load bearing. So if you do need to take something down, you don't need a structural engineer, so you don't need a permit. And that's a big reason actually why Mercury Insurance chose us to be their first builder alliance, to have their first alliance with the builder. But we'll talk more about that. So here's another benefit. Every Phoenix home is fully net zero energy. It's all electric. You don't have a gas bill. And the solar panels provide all the energy you need. We have an energy storage system that is more than just battery backup. This is full capacity energy storage. So whenever there's power lost, you have full use of your home. And, this is standard in every Phoenix home. So there's no energy bills. And so, we're gonna have, you'll have fees every month, and that changes as we move forward. But as far as for your energy usage, no, you are not going to have monthly energy bills at all with a Phoenix. Next. And so here's our favorite part. This is, I think, what everybody really looks to Phoenix for. So we are the first home builder in the nation to have formed an alliance with a major insurance carrier. And as we know, many wildfire-prone areas, securing coverage has been one of the most stressful parts of rebuilding. And so our homes are formally recognized and pre-qualified by Mercury Insurance. They looked at not only the fact that we are code approved type 1 non-combustible, but the water thing, that was important for them too. So there's a lot more to it. And I know that Mercury is wonderful. They've really made a commitment to stay in California and help everybody as best as they can. And they have said that they will give a little discount here and there for using this or that material. But we are the only builder that has, and that they have formed a relationship with. And so we hook you up with their agent, and they look at their underwriting system and they see it's a Phoenix and they insure you. So, in Santa Clarita, for instance, our first Phoenix home, they lost their home in the tick fire, and their annual premium is now less than what they were paying before they lost their home. And so, when underwriting reflects the way a home is built, it reinforces everything we're discussing right now. And so lower premiums, again, add that to your reduced energy costs, starts adding up. And then, of course, I mean, it's my favorite subject, architecture. We have to look at what do these homes look like? And so right out of the gate, we're winning awards. And the home in the middle there is Phoenix One. We completed that home in 2021, and it won an ICF award. Our latest home that we completed last year, just outside of Yosemite National Park, that one on the left, it won 2 awards. The one that we're really, really proud of is the People's Choice Award. That was a really cool surprise. So out of all of these, and the ICF awards, they're international. So that was a really high bar. We got that award in January. Very, very proud of that. And so, a Phoenix home isn't just built to survive fire. It's built to be beautiful. It's somewhere you actually want to live. And Kendra and I start with your wish list. It's your life, it's your values, it's what the house, what it needs to feel like for you. And that shapes the design from day one. And, what's really cool too, because we build in concrete and steel, we get a lot of room to play. We've got higher volumes, we've got bigger glass and rooms that really breathe. It's stunning. 10-foot ceilings aren't a stretch goal for us. It's just what the material allows. And so, of course, we have the custom designed homes, decades, the decades of award-winning architectural design experience. So we bring full service professional architectural services to every project. And that's something that other contractor-driven design build firms can't offer. So we know who's out there. I'm not going to start calling out names, but we all know who's building up in Altadena and Palisades. And those design build firms are all contractor driven. They're founded by contractors, run by contractors, and some of them, honestly, were actually founded by Silicon Valley people sometimes. So, we are the only design builders out there right now that are architect driven. And, I've also got decades of construction experience as well. But we are first and foremost architects. And that's something those other firms cannot offer. And that's why we're the ones winning the design awards. But, sometimes, we got a lot of requests from people for like, geez, I don't want to start from scratch. Can't you guys just have, some pre-designed homes? And voila, that's what we have. So we launched in April our Portfolio Homes collection. And these are on our website. You can go check them out right now. And we also have starting pricing. We only put it on our website because we update it when we get more information. We're breaking ground on a couple homes in Altadena in the next couple of months. So we'll be able to update our starting cost numbers soon with up-to-date budget numbers. So if you want something faster, more turnkey, this is really the option for you. And it's still really versatile. We've got 2 homes, the Esther and the Harriet there, 2 to 4 bedrooms with age in place options, accessible bathrooms, things like that. We have a standalone ADU, and we even have a duplex. No one else has a duplex. And so Kendra is going to walk you through what our design process actually feels like, and especially if you lost a home. So go ahead, Kendra, take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Lori. She touched on a lot of really important things, but for our design process, it's really this 3-stage process. Again, not to overwhelm, to make it streamlined and simple. So going into phase 1, if we're building a custom home or we're building one of our portfolio homes collections, we're still going to get to know who you are. So we can go to the next slide. In our phase 1, we start off with a kickoff meeting, and this meeting is going to be typically about 2 hours where we get as much information from you, whether that's images or things that you loved about your home, or maybe there's things about your home previously that you weren't, that you wanted to improve upon. So that's where we're going to get all that information, understand how you live, how you experience your space in your home, and how you want that to feel for you. So we deep dive on all that information. We put together your initial home layout concept. Now, that sounds like big picture. It is an actual model with floor plans, with architecture, with everything for you to see on our second meeting. So it's still concept, but it's a tangible thing that you can actually walk through and envision in our second meeting after we've gotten all that information from you. So our meetings that follow, our design meetings that follow that, will just be iterations to get closer and closer and tweak that design until it is a home that you love. So once we get to that place where we have landed on your final design layout, this is what you're going to see. So these images are the level of detail. Now, materials are fairly generic because we haven't got deep dived into your interior finishes, which will be the next phase that we go into, but we have a very, very detailed floor plan and home for you to review. That typically takes about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how quickly we make decisions. In phase 2, then we take that concept model that we fully detailed and we will turn it into buildable permitted plans. That piece you don't have to be involved in. We take all of that and we're doing that behind the scenes. I will still be meeting with you, but this is where, while the construction documents are getting created, I will walk you through our interior design process, which is our vision builder. It is completely as much or as little self-guided as you want it to be. So I will obviously walk you through that, but you will get to choose all of your finishes from a curated palettes that we have put together based on styles, based on colors. And then we will have meetings with Space Theory for your kitchen design, as well as picking out your appliances with Snyder Diamond. So bathroom design, appliances, all of that will all be cohesively decided during that process while we're building your construction documents, which typically takes roughly 3 to 6 months. And then we will apply for your permits. We will go through that process. That takes a little bit, that's a couple of months, but then we get into building your home. Sorry, I jumped in between. Building your home, which is the final phase. Once you've got permits in hand, it's about 8 to 12 months from ground up construction, which is quite fast for a custom home build. Just ask around, it is fast. So that is including the site prep and the footings and the rough inspections and finishes, and then final certificate of occupancy. So that all, then you get to move in, you get the keys, and project is complete. And now
You don't have money.
this is Brian. He is with Lighthouse Lending Group. Do you want to take it away, Brian?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you
for
having me, everyone. I really appreciate it. Lori, Sarah, Andrew, Noel, Kendra, really appreciate it. Like she said, I am with Lighthouse Lending Group. We are a mortgage broker, which I think is important to distinguish other than just a direct lender. Because as a broker, we have access to really hundreds of wholesale lenders. And I've worked in both spaces in my life. I've been in the business, mortgage business and real estate business for over 25 years now. And I've worked as a direct lender, even credit union, and as a broker. And by far, from a client perspective, a broker is your best bet, just because every individual client has their own specific scenario that you know, that actually needs unique lenders to provide the solutions for them. So that's what I like is when I speak with the client initially, I get their scenario, understand everything, and then from there I know exactly where I can take them. And so you have options, which is very important. So yeah, next slide. So this next slide is CalAssistMortgageFund.org. It's a public fund for individuals who went through the trauma of a fire. I honestly would say that this is the first place you would want to go to see what type of funds or grants are available for your specific situation if you went through the tragedy of a fire, which I know some on the panel have experience with that. I haven't directly, but it's one of those things I just cannot imagine. And I want to be, after speaking with Lori several times about it, and Sarah, I just want to be a help to anyone who's going through such a trauma. And I believe this is a really good place to start in regards to this type of disaster. So it's mortgage relief. So if you apply, you're approved, you can receive mortgage relief through, if you're delinquent, if you have any forbearance, you could forbear. It covers up to 12 months, and it can be applied to future payments, forbearance, mortgage delinquencies. And for each household, it can go up to $100,000. So I would just say, if this is something that's interesting to you, there's some guidelines around it. You can go to CalAssistMortgageFund.org, or you could just reach out to me directly at brian@theRateTrackers.com, or give me a call. And then as a team, we can figure out what your best option is. Slide, please. So I know this is, after extensive conversations with Lori and Sarah about the playground of insurance companies, I've learned, and through some experience as well, that there's times where there's a gap between a homeowner and getting their home, cured. So insurance companies generally pay out on actual cash value, which is based on a depreciated value, which obviously is not going to be the amount that the true amount of your house. So to unlock some of those funds, they need a builder to provide a proposed cost value. So it's the value after it's built. And so many times builders need those funds up front. And so homeowners kind of get stuck in this situation where, they don't have the funds. And so they need some type of help. And this is where we can come in at Lighthouses. We have wholesale lenders that provide bridge loans. So it bridges the gap between, that to get your project moving. We also have a product such as a home equity line of credit or home equity loan, which is a second mortgage. So for example, if you have like a second home, or if you have an investment property, we could also do a cross collateral type of a loan as well. So this kind of just points to the variety of solutions that we have based on all the wholesale lenders that we have communicate with. So it could be, the bridge loans are short-term loans. There's generally no prepayment penalty, just because obviously it's going to be temporary, so you don't want to pay points on paying that off. So but when it comes to second mortgage, second mortgages don't have prepayment penalties either. So it's something that it's just another tool in toolbox, so to speak. So next slide, please. Generally, so how I look at loans, I always say this. It's so funny. I'm sick of myself saying this all the time. but I always say this to my clients because it's so true. When I'm looking at someone's scenario and someone's loan, it's almost like I have the switch in my brain that it's my loan. Like, what would I do? Like, you know, even to the little nuances. And this is one of those. And it's related to costs. So with bridge loans, there's generally costs. Sometimes we're forced to go into a bridge loan, and that's what it is. We minimize costs as much as possible because the lender actually has costs as well. But a second option is a one-time close. One-time close is taking the construction costs of a loan and then the permanent costs of a loan. Like when you refinance your house, for example, you may have some costs associated with that refinance. Well, a one-time close takes construction and the permanent costs and combines it into one. So you're minimizing your cost outlay automatically. You are able to pay off your existing mortgage if you have one. Rate is locked up front. Now, this is an interesting aspect because with a rate, you know, rates fluctuate daily. You know, that's can be good and can be bad depending on which side of the spectrum you're on. But when we start to go through the process of qualifying, go through underwriting and everything, what I do is I watch the mortgage yield, the bond yields, and see when it's an opportune time to lock. We lock the rate, then your loan closes, loan's funded, then it takes X amount of months for the construction to be completed. Once it's completed, and we have the certificate of occupancy, then at that point, it changes into a 30-year fixed permanent loan. Now, through that process, what if the rates went down? Well, you know, you want to take advantage of the best rate possible. So we have a feature where we do a float and relock. So at that moment, we will float the rate. We will, the rate will get the prevailing rate of the time. So if it's lower, it's lower. And then we relock it at that best rate. So that's really nice because you want to take advantage of the bond yields as much as you possibly can. So this is available. The one-time close construction loan is available as a conventional FHA, VA. Like I mentioned before, there's fewer steps and less costs for doing the one-time close. And ultimately, once you complete your build, you're living in your house, we were able to float and relock, it doesn't end there. So we've partnered with, really it's my company, the ratetrackers.com, where I have some proprietary technology. It's artificial intelligence driven, where we track the bond yields based on your specific scenario. And then we reach out to you directly and proactively let you know that we can lower your rate and lower your payment. So it's a fantastic service, really excited about it. So the best way to think of it is that you have someone in the field that is on your side watching the bond yields and letting you know when the best time is to lower your payment. Everyone's so busy with everything, it's hard to watch bond yields, right? So that's what I do every day. So I'm here to take, I hope you take advantage of that. So next slide, please. So you could think of us as a concierge, like Sarah was saying, we're like the loan concierge, but it's not just loans, it's everything. So if you need help with insurance adjusters, payout agents, title, escrow, lenders, builders, anything, we're here to help guide you through and really make it as easy as possible for you. I mean, I don't want to say that I can just give you an easy button that you push. I don't want to plug any staples or anything, but I don't want, it's not as simple as just pressing the easy button, but it is pretty close because we want to make sure that you have a team member that's on your side that knows your situation And we want to walk through every step possible to make sure that you have a solution to get you back on track. So that's really what it is. And that's one of the things I love about Phoenix is, you know, when we initially spoke with Phoenix a few years back, you know, Maria and I were just honestly smitten with Phoenix and how they approach the client, because quite frankly, that's not the mortgage business. The mortgage business is very numbers profit related. And so I just find that it's interesting. We're actually a disruptor because we're more of aligned with how Phoenix sees a client, which is, you know, what would we do if we were you? And that's very, very important. Next slide, please. Here we have a rebuild financing calculator. This is a link you can go to, and it helps you compare bridge loan with one-time close, see the difference in cost, difference in payments. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone has a different scenario. I'll be happy to hop on a call, communicate via email, or if you just want to take a look and see, you can click on this link and it will show you and give you a side-by-side comparison to see like exactly what would be your best option. So I, you know, encourage you to take advantage of it. It's at lighthouselending.com. So please feel free to reach out, or again, reach out to me. Next slide, please. So again, you know, if you want to hop on a call, you can click in my, send me an email. We can set up a call, set up a time to do a 30-minute chat about your specific scenario. And, you know, obviously we want to help you with your next steps. So, yeah, feel free to take advantage of all of us here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
My pleasure.
So
And there's our website.
Yeah, I'll send this out when and it'll be available on our YouTube to easily click to follow through here. And I just want to say, Brian, how much we appreciate having you.
Yeah.
And I mean, financing is the number one question that we get from everyone. And so to have someone like you to turn people to makes a huge difference.
And I just want to jump in
Yes.
too. Thank you so much, Brian. And, you know, just second what he said about there's alignment between our companies and our philosophies. And that's why Brian is part of the Phoenix family. And so we are constantly in conversations, trying to innovate. We're currently trying to innovate something now for folks that are underinsured. And, you know, I think we might be ready to talk about that in a couple of months. But Brian, I was just going to suggest if you could maybe in the chat, put your email in there and, you know, maybe some links to that calculator or anything else.
Absolutely.
And just pop it up in the chat. And then I'll just hand it back to Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll just wrap us up. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or speak. I'm just gonna do a wrap up really about, you know, who we are and what we offer. We are wood-free homes. Our homes do not cost any more than a typical wood-built home. However, your home is going to be insured, and that's something you're not going to have to worry about. These homes are fully net zero, so that's going to save you money in the long run over the life of your home. These are homes that we can build faster than a typical build. Something we didn't even touch on is there's just less component pieces to build this house. And that also makes it go faster. We build custom homes and we have pre-designed homes. It can be really intimidating sometimes to start from scratch. A blank canvas can be intimidating. And so we do give you a starting point to jump off of. These homes are low maintenance. Again, that's a lifelong money saving. You're going to have no rot, no pests. This is going to be a forever home that you're going to love and cherish and be very happy in. So what happens next? If you're interested, in talking with us. You know, you can always email us. We do have a way to set up a consultation on our website through Calendly. And that's on the contact us of our website. But if you just want to message us, send your address, send some photos, give us an idea of what you're looking to do. We're always willing to just have a conversation and give you some ideas and walk through it. I mean, that's totally cost-free. We're just here to help and help you navigate what you're going through. And there is a QR link here. So if you are on your computer and can use your phone, this will take you directly to our contact page. And with that, I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for taking time out of your summer day to be with us. Brian, thank you so much for joining us and being part of this team. And thank you to the rest of the PHNX team for being here too. Anything else? I don't think I see any questions.
No questions. Well, I mean, I'd just like to say thank you for spending time with us. And we are going to be breaking ground on at least one of our Altadena homes within the next 2 months, I would say. And there's some special news about that project we'll be announcing soon. We also have a project just getting underway. It'll be our first home in San Diego. And we've got the site ready. We're just raring to go. You know, we've got obviously more in the pipeline, but so just, you know, keep an eye on us, keep an eye on our social media. We'll be, you know, we'll be showing snippets of the progress on both of those projects. And there's going to be a lot of Phoenix in the news in the coming months. So just stay tuned.
We.
Well, yeah, we.
We.
Thank you everyone for attending, and you'll see this online on our YouTube, and we'll be sending out a link to those that participated, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for attending. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Nice
Thank you for
meeting you.
having me.